Hello, Michael here with another Renderman tutorial. This week we're going to be talking about normal maps and how you hook them up in Maya. But first I'm going to show you how to export it from ZBrush if that's what you're using. If you're not using ZBrush, then this will hooking it up in Maya will still be roughly the same. But for all you ZBrush users, this is how you do it really quickly. So normally I would use the multi-map exporter, but for some reason it's not been working with my normal maps at the moment, so I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. So you'll see I've got a skull here with a lot of topology. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, I've already UV mapped this, just an auto UV, so that's easy. We'll go to our subtool, so we'll go to our geometry and we'll take the subdivision down to 0. Or 1 or whatever it is, and then we'll go to normal map, and you can see I've already created one just as a test. I'm going to create a new one, so you can select your target resolution for your normal map under UV map. If you want it to be 4K, then 4096, or anything above that you can go up to 8K. I'm just going to do a 4K map because that's going to be fine for this tutorial. So let's go back down to normal map, and then let's create normal map. And you'll see when you mouse over you get the normal map there, and you'll see that I've done a couple of other ones. That's fine. So to get this exported from ZBrush, we're going to click clone normal map, which will take it to the texture palette, and then we're going to select the normal map and flip V, otherwise it's going to be upside down, and then we're going to click export and export it to wherever we want. Alright, and that's exported. So let's jump over into Maya and have a look at how to hook it up. Alright, so I've already imported our model, and you can see it's fairly low poly. It's 5,000 polygons roughly. I've created a dome light, which I've just set the intensity very low, and I've just got a key light there on the left hand side, which is small. The smaller your light source is, the better you're going to see your sharp small shadows, so it's good to have a small light. And also if you go to advanced and normalize the light, you can use your regular intensities without having to bump it up crazy high to get it to have a reasonable amount of light coming out of it. So let's go into the Hypershade editor, and you'll see I've got a displacement map hooked up to this material that I've created. This is just your PxrSurface, which you can create by selecting your model and clicking the PxrSurface button. But because I've already created it, I'm not going to do that again. However, with our displacement, I've got it disabled. So if I rendered it now, you'll see that it's just going to render up looking like this. So, you know, low poly and all that. So back in the Hypershade editor, let's create a normal map node. So we can do that by typing into the search field PxrNO, and you'll get normal map, and that will create the Pixar normal map node. If you have it selected and you tap 3 on your keyboard, it will expand it, and then on the right hand side of the properties, we're going to go to file name, source images, or just wherever you've got your source image, and then the normal map 1 is the one that I just created. You'll see it's exactly the same as the one that I did previously. And with ZBrush, you're going to want to do a couple of things. You're going to want to invert the bump and flip the Y. For some reason it's backwards and inverted when you export from ZBrush using the old way. I'm not sure why, but if you just do this, it will correct it. Then you want to grab your result N and drag it out to bump normal. This is your universal normal. So if you go back into the material and you scroll down, this is in your globals. If you wanted to do separate bump maps for your like specular, for example, you could do that by connecting it here, but I'm just going to do the one overall. So this is going to bump the surface across the entire model. So you could have different bump maps for your specular channel, for instance, or your clear coat channel if you wanted to have sort of like a, I don't know, pretend like you had a table, for instance, with a wood texture on it, and the wood texture would have a separate bump map to maybe the clear coat gloss that you'd apply to it. That's one way of thinking about it, at least anyway. So the other thing we're going to do is, you can see that the topology looks garbage, and if we render it now, you'll see that in spite of having the normal map applied to it, you'll still see the polygon surface because of the low topology. It is creating that normal map, so if I compare that to the previous one, the normal map is being applied, but because of the low topology of the model, it's doesn't look very good. So if we select our model, stop that IPR. If we select our model, we go to attributes, Renderman, subdiv scheme. So you'll see under extra attributes you get this Renderman drop down, and it's going to have Catmull Clark, and it's going to be 3 new style internal only. So now when we IPR, you'll see that it's smoothed out the surface, but it's still retaining the normal map displacement. So I'll show you on the normal map properties. If you don't have invert, bump, and flip Y enabled, if I render that now, you'll see that the bumps are going the wrong way. So yeah, I know from working on this model in ZBrush which way the indentations on the head are meant to look. So if I just enable that and IPR it, we'll get the correct displacement. So if you want to control the amount of bump, you can also control it with the bump scale. Probably like 0.5 for this bump map might be roughly correct, maybe 0.6. It's not too deep. If you combo this with a displacement map, like I showed in the Hypershade editor, I already had one connected. So if I enable that and then go back and re-render it, you'll see that I get a little bit more detail. It's a great idea to be able to combo your normal maps with a displacement map, so you can get your displacement map to do the heavy lifting for your topology, and then your normal map just to add in the finer detail. This is for high poly models, and this model is not exactly the best representation of doing a displacement plus bump, but it sort of does show you how to connect it all up at the very least. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it really. It's a very simple thing to be able to do, but if you don't know how to do it, it can be a little bit annoying to figure out how to connect it up, especially coming from ZBrush with that inversion set incorrectly. So yeah, that's pretty much it though. So I hope that helped you all out there. If it did help you, hit like so other people can find this tutorial on YouTube, and if you want to see more tutorials every week, I'm doing a couple a week at the moment, so make sure you're subscribed. Otherwise, that's it for now, so thank you very much for watching and happy rendering.